It was a day of devastation that brought a community together. 1 year later, live from the heart of West Alabama, a WVUA special report, Rebuilding Tuscaloosa.
We remember those affected by the April 27th storms as we look back at that fateful day in West Alabama.
Plus how those who rushed to the front lines remember that tragic day.
And we're glad you're with us this evening. I'm Lynn Brooks.
And I'm Philip Coleman. Today kicks off a week of special coverage as we mark the 1 year milestone of the April 27th tornado. All this week we'll be coming to you live from the various locations along the path of the tornado.
And this evening we're in the community of Rosedale, just off of 10th Avenue in the city of Tuscaloosa. And one of the victims from right here in this area was 5-year-old Michaela Edwards. Here's her story from last year. This is 10th Avenue in the Rosedale community of Tuscaloosa. You can see the power crews are working diligently to try and get the electricity back on in this area. But for families right here who lost their loved ones in this community, still many dark days lie ahead for them.
When I called her, all I heard was screaming. Those
screams were coming from here. 2 little girls, their mother and their grandmother were huddled together, and all D'Angelo Edwards could do for his family was pray.
We all fell on our knees and we prayed. When I got to my mother's house, that it wasn't there.
Edwards' mother, sister, and 3-year-old niece survived, but no one could find 5-year-old Michaela. Family and friends searched this area for 2 days, around the clock, before checking one final place.
We went to the VA hospital, and where they was, bringing bodies in from the tragedy that happened. And she was there. She was there, and she was gone.
No one knows for sure exactly where Michaela's body was discovered, but it's believed that she was found somewhere in the area of this brown couch here in the Rosedale community. The family says that the last time they were here in this neighborhood, obviously times were much happier. It was Easter Sunday. They were all together as a family, and little Michaela was here opening her Easter goodies. So they are trying to hold on right now to those happy memories.
My niece was an angel. She'd never be forgotten. She'd never be forgotten. And God gonna help me make it happen.
And I can still remember talking with Michaela's uncle. He talked about how little Michaela had such a great personality, how she was always smiling, and that family, of course, misses her very, very much.
I'm sure they do. And the location of the family's home right now is only about 50 yards from where we're sitting in that direction. But some more brighter news is that 1 year later, construction crews are on site laying the groundwork for the new Rosedale Court. Phase 1's 88 units started late March. Officials say since the storm, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development recognized Rosedale as a top priority. Officials say Phase 2 of Rosedale's revitalization will consist of 86 units.
Quality of housing is improving. The Hope 6 type project that is being built through the Housing Authority with the assistance of HUD and the city and the county, the lower density housing, in my judgment, will be a vast improvement.
And some of the very first people to see the devastation of our community firsthand were our first responders.
And thanks to their quick actions and heroic drive, they saved hundreds of lives all across the county.
It started that morning, I think around 5:30.
We had a tornado that came through Pickens County that morning, and the minute I crossed the line, I had to turn around and go right back and get my chainsaw.
They told us, pretty significant chance of us having some tornadoes, so we started getting stuff ready around here. Making sure all of our tools ran, making sure we had extra stuff on the trucks.
By the time I made it to McFarland Boulevard, I could see the storm trailing off to my left.
We watched it come in front of the station. It moved. It looked like it's probably a mile, half a mile in front of us.
I was coming down Crescent Ridge Road just about at the time the storm was coming through. And I sustained a little damage to my car, but I was able to get out of the path of the storm.
You're pretty certain that people were dying up in front of us. So you were about to get real busy.
You know, after it was over, just seeing people walking around that had lost everything, and seeing kids that, you know, some was hurt and some was just mainly scared because they didn't know what they was going to do or where they was going to go.
You could look, as far as you looked left and as far as you looked right, there was just nothing. And just a lot of hurt people.
Our deputies had to respond and do things that are far beyond what they normally would do.
I was calling for an ambulance, and it was something that I thought I'd never hear in my career. There are no ambulances.
About my 10th patient that was obviously beyond help. It felt pretty hopeless, and I turned around then and really took a hard look at things and said, you know, we're going to make it.
People came back together, and they worked with each other, and they stood up and say, we've been knocked down once, but we're going to stand up and we're going to fight and we're going to come back together.
And I'm just thankful that our deputies did such a great job. Our community did, you know, an incredible job, and then our brothers from these other counties were able to come in and saw that need.
But I'm just proud. I'm proud of the Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Office. I'm proud of men like MacArthur. I'm proud of our chief. I'm proud of our sheriff. I'm proud of what all the young guys did.
I didn't lose anything personally, but I endured it with those people, just having to be out there with them. And I feel a lot closer to the city. You know, I feel like it's more home now.
And coming up on Tuesday on WVUA News at 6, we'll show you how doctors and nurses at DCH Regional Medical Center became heroes in just a matter of minutes on April 27th.
And right now we're less than an hour away from a very special musical tribute called Ode to Joy. Tuscaloosa remembers and rebuilds. The University of Alabama singers and also the Tuscaloosa Symphony Orchestra joining together for this very special concert, recognizing the one-year mark of the April 27th tornado and the community's efforts to rebuild a better city. All this kicks off tonight at 7 p.m. at the Moody Music Building. It's the UA's School of Music putting all that together. And also a very special programming note for you this evening. WVUA Alabama's home team has a special presentation dedicated to all those who were affected by the April 27th storms.
Our one-hour-long documentary, Faces of the Storm, is airing every night this week. You can see it tonight at 9 p.m. and at 9 p.m. all the way through Thursday. But on Friday, April 27th, Faces of the Storm will air right after WVUA News at 6. Now, this special presentation takes a look at the people impacted by the storms and their stories of loss, survival, and hope. Faces of the Storm is being brought to you commercial-free, with special thanks to DCH and Nucor.